We recently hit 5,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, and we are so happy and grateful for that. Thank you all for subscribing and watching our videos and liking and commenting on our videos. It feels really special to have this many people along on our journey. And it hasn't been that long. The first video that we published was in October of 2018, and now we have published more than 80 videos on our channel. And we're so thankful for all of you joining us on our journey.
And I want to take a second to say, when Diana says we published, what she really means is she published. Diana does all of our video editing. She does all of that stuff. So huge shout out to Diana on that one. I think you've done an amazing job.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
And it's been super fun to learn and grow in that. We will continue making these videos, and for now it's going to be once a week. Maybe someday we'll be able to get to twice a week, and we still plan to continue editing captions on every single video.
So speaking of the videos that we're making right now, we are here in Idaho and we are just cranking through that backlog. We've got so much footage from places that we visited before the pandemic kind of locked things down, that we're working on that through both the video backlog and on the website as well. So there's lots more exciting stuff. We are here now though in Idaho. This is real time, and we're here, we're safe, we're healthy. If you want to see what we're up to in more real time, make sure that you subscribe to our newsletter. So once a week, we just send out a quick email with some of the things that we've been up to. We try and make it fairly lighthearted and just a bit of fun. So you can subscribe at adventurousway.com/subscribe, and we'll drop a little link in the description below for you as well.
So this video is filmed in real time, and it is May 2020 right now. But in our video timeline, the footage was filmed in July of 2019. So we'll have a lot more national park travel videos coming. We have at least 7 national park units upcoming that we filmed before this pandemic started.
But we also have some exciting plans for videos after that as well. So we've already been filming one of the things that you guys have been really asking us for, which is a tour of our RV. We have a video that we filmed a long time ago from when we first moved into the RV, but we will have an updated video on what it's been like after 2 years living in the RV and how it looks now. And we're also going to do some remodeling in the RV. So one of the things that while we're here in Idaho, we're going to work on is some fairly extensive remodeling, redecorating and things in here as well. So we'll also try and put out some videos around that.
So don't worry, we have lots of videos coming.
But the reason for today's video is not just to say thank you to you, but also to answer some of the questions that you guys have sent us. So thank you to everybody who has emailed us questions and commented on Facebook and YouTube and things with questions for us. And we've got a good set of those, so why don't we jump straight into that?
Sounds good.
Okay, so the first question we have is, how long do you guys plan to keep RVing?
So multiple people actually asked this question. So for us, full-time RVing, it wasn't the goal. For us, the goal was to visit the national parks. The adventure is what we're after. And it just so happens that for the current adventure of seeing the national parks, living in an RV is the most effective way to do that. So we don't have any set timeline of when we will stop being RVing, just as long as it's fun and as long as it's the right way or vehicle to do our adventure, we will keep doing that.
And I think particularly right now, it's a pretty tough time to be RVing. There are a lot of our friends who are looking to stop RVing or maybe at least have a base for part of the year. Right now, I think we feel okay. We've really enjoyed living in the RV. We feel safe where we are. We feel we've got options available to us. So for at least the foreseeable, we'll continue to be in our RV. Okay, next question we have. When you first started out, you said you were going to give yourselves a year to get your YouTube business going. So how are you making money now?
Good question. I don't quite remember saying a year, but it's quite possible that we said that.
Optimistic.
Optimistic, yeah. Very optimistic. So for now, we are still living off our savings. Like we saved up some money so that we can do this. And we have started our business. It is bringing some income, but at the same time, we are reinvesting back into the business. Like making high quality videos does require good computer and good camera and so on. In terms of how do we make money? So one avenue is on the YouTube. we have enabled monetization through ads. So this means that if YouTube decides to put an ad on our video, and if a viewer watches that ad for at least 30 seconds or the full length of the video if it's shorter, then we get some portion of that revenue. It's generally not much, but it adds up here and there over time.
And let's be honest though, it's really not a lot right now.
Yeah.
We're still, although we feel absolutely pumped that we've hit 5,000 subscribers, that's pretty small by YouTube standards. And so we're talking a fairly small amount of money each month that comes in.
$100 a month. It barely covers our costs for the editing software and website and things like that.
I mean, it doesn't even pay for the internet connectivity we need to upload the videos.
Yes,
so it's not a lot of money.
Yeah.
The other way that we make money at the moment is through the website. And we do have some affiliate links on there. So when you click on those affiliate links, we may earn a commission from any qualifying purchases that you do on there. Again, a relatively small amount of money each month. It's a little more than YouTube's making right now, but not a lot. But they're the two ways that we're making money right now, for the most part. For
the most part. We also have done video production and video editing, and we also have done consulting.
And so you may be asking yourselves, like, why are you still doing this? Are you crazy? Possibly. When we hit the road, we said that we wanted to share our journey and we wanted to share our adventure. We set ourselves up with enough savings and we planned for long enough that we didn't have to start making money really quickly to support ourselves.
Yeah.
Now, longer term, we want to make this into something sustainable, and that's a goal for us. But I think we want to do it the right way, and we want to make sure that we get there very organically, that the focus really is on producing great content and building up a family of people following us along that are interested and want to learn more. And so that's why we're so happy that we've reached this number, because for us, 5,000 is a huge milestone in that. But we're not too focused on the kind of make lots of money side. It's more on the have good fun, have an adventure, and share the story.
And plus, your question was about YouTube business. We don't actually see it as YouTube business. YouTube is just a small portion of the whole thing that we're doing. It may take the most time right now. That's a different story.
Okay, good question though. Next up, future travel plans. A couple of quick ones here. Are you guys going to the balloon fiesta this year?
The plan for this year was to head over to the East Coast for different events and things. But with this, everything has been cancelled. So because we were planning to go to the East Coast, we did not buy tickets for the balloon fiesta.
And this is the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, for anyone wondering.
Yeah, where we have been the previous 3 years. So we didn't plan to go there. So we probably not gonna go because it wasn't on our plans anyways, and it's kind of getting harder and harder to get the RV spots there.
Tickets for the RV spots and things sold out within like an hour or something silly.
Yeah.
So we haven't got a ticket. It is an amazing event though. So if you are going, we are super jealous because it's so much fun.
Yeah.
And we actually have some footage from last year's balloon fiesta that we still need to edit and publish.
Yep.
So look out for some super cool stuff. Particularly, we took a load of 8K time-lapse videos last year. So that's going to be some work to edit, but I'm really looking forward to those.
And it will be some work for the computer to edit.
Okay, and then the second one here. Are you going to be exploring Idaho camping areas before you leave?
So in general, during this time, we are kind of taking it day by day and seeing what is opening up, what is not, what are our options. So right now we have pretty much no travel plans. We are taking it day by day. So it would be nice to visit some Idaho areas, and there are some national park units here. But I think it kind of all depends on when and where things will open up.
For the more popular national parks like Yellowstone, Grand Canyon, etc., is boondocking an option, or will you need to make advance reservations?
Boondocking generally means camping with no facilities on public land. Generally, those big national parks do not have boondocking spaces. It's all the places you can camp are campgrounds. So there are some in certain places first come first served campgrounds, But because they are so big and so busy, I would definitely do reservations for big national parks. If you want to stay inside the national park, a lot of them will have areas around, like national forest or BLM land, that will have dispersed camping, and those you probably can go without reservations. But even then, I would really read the reviews to see whether they fill up and you would be able to find a spot.
And we've camped in national park campgrounds a few times since we've been on the road. And I mean, when those reservations open up, was it 6 months ahead usually?
Yeah.
They fill up so quickly. Where we've had luck is just keeping an eye on things and finding things like midweek.
Yep.
And in a couple of them, we've even had to like change sites halfway through a reservation, just like bolt 2 different sites together to get the stay we wanted. What I would say is even if boondocking isn't available in the national park, sometimes there is something nearby. And so we've done that a few times as well, like Mesa Verde. We did that fairly recently.
Yep.
So there's a lot of options out there. We like to have options, and it's one of the reasons why right now we're kind of feeling okay, because we're set up to camp kind of wherever.
So I think it really depends on your schedule. If you're full-timing in the RV and you have all the time in the world, yeah, you can go without much planning and stay in those places nearby. If you are on a set schedule on vacation, I would definitely plan. Like when our brother but my brother was with us last summer, we planned where we stayed and booked every single night. Because if he doesn't have the flexibility, he has a plane to catch on the way home after the trip.
Okay, next up, I like this one. What's your favourite place you visited so far on your journey to visit all of the parks?
I mean, there's just too many. It's really hard to pick a favorite. I think one of my favorite aspects is that we can spend more time in each place. So I really enjoyed Channel Islands National Park and the fact that we were able to be there over multiple days and camp on the island. Otherwise, you just had enjoy a day trip over there. I really enjoy hiking, so Rocky Mountain National Park or Guadalupe Mountains, where you could spend a week there just hiking every day. Those are some of my favorite places. What about you?
I think for me, one is the kind of the situational ones where you just happen to be in the right place at the right time. And like Saguaro National Park last February, when we were there and it snowed, like seeing saguaro cacti covered in snow is a pretty rare event. And it had been on our bucket list for a while. And we just happened to be camped, 5 miles from Saguaro when it snowed. And we'd already finished our visit there. We were just in the area afterwards. So that was pretty magical. The other one is I really like the places that a lot of people can't get to. So like Mojave National Preserve, when we went and did the off-road Mojave Road through there, that was pretty magical. We were sitting there trying to work out how close we thought the next nearest person was to us. And we figured they were probably at least 20 miles away. And that was a pretty cool feeling as well. I really enjoyed that. Okay, I think we set ourselves up for this next one. What is the count now at for inspiration points? And have you started adding Lover's Leap to your count?
So for inspiration points, we have visited 2.
And just explain the context behind this if people don't understand this one.
So the context for this question is that as we visit the national parks, we come across multiple places inside national parks that are called inspiration points. So I like to count and keep track of things. That's partially why we ended up with this goal of visiting all the national park units. So I had the thought, let's count the inspiration points. And so far we are at 2 that we have visited. But at the Channel Islands, I saw on a map inspiration points, but it was on a different island, so we didn't visit it. So I know there 3 exist, at least, but we visited 2.
And I'm sure there's a lot more than 3 out there.
Yes, I'm sure there's a lot more. The Lover's Leap, actually, we haven't seen any yet.
But if you think we've been somewhere that we should have seen one, let us know.
Yes.
Because we're always up for counting these things. It's always good fun. Okay, good one here. What's the worst experience to date and the best experience to date?
Wow. Worst experience.
Do you want me to go first?
Sure.
I'm going to throw both of mine into the same answer here. I think off-roading at Great Sand Dunes has got to be the worst and the best experience simultaneously. If you haven't seen the video yet that we put out just recently on the off-roading gone wrong at Medano Pass Road, check that out. It did not go as planned. It was meant to be a simple 2-3 hour easy off-road trail turned into a 24-hour ordeal. We had to end up getting a friend to call 911 for us. It was a mess. But at the same time, looking back on it, it was really exciting. Like, although we didn't feel that way at the time, we were terrified, frankly. Looking back on it, I'm like, it went okay. It could have gone a lot worse, and we came out of it really well. So I think for me, that was a real highlight to look back on and think, yeah, we survived that.
I would call that my worst. I wouldn't call that my best. I think my best is the unexpected moments that we have a chance to come across. So, like Matt's example of seeing snow in Saguaro National Park. I think that's really special. I really like animals. So seeing cute island foxes on Channel Islands, that was also a highlight for me.
And honestly, there's just been so many particularly good experiences that we've had, meeting new people,
Yes.
And even just like random people on the trail that we've met that have turned out to like, we've met people in Chiricahua who was like a former volunteer.
Yeah.
We've met people who've hiked the same area, like in Rocky Mountain,
yeah.
for like decades. So there's all these different sorts of experiences that we've picked up, and we don't always get to include in the videos and the blog posts, but they've been really, really magical experiences for us. Okay, on the similar vein, best hike.
For me, I would say Chasm Lake in Rocky Mountain National Park. I like that because you end up with a lake and you still have really nice views of the mountain up top. And it's nice, varied hike. You start in the forest and then you get above the forest line. The wind was vicious, but otherwise you kind of had the variation of walking across the stream and seeing a waterfall. There was even snow in one portion. And my brother was with me, so that was very fun too.
That was a cool hike.
So yeah, we have video on that as well in our Rocky Mountain National Park. What about you?
I think for me, Guadalupe Peak was pretty magical, back in Guadalupe Mountains National Park. I think everyone thinks of Texas as being completely flat, and it's not. Trust me, Guadalupe Peak is a good climb, but the views at the top were just incredible.
Yeah.
So that was pretty magical. I would also add a little like cheat one if I can, the Narrows in Zion.
Oh, yeah.
So we haven't been to Zion since we hit the road in the RV, but we have been there before, a few years ago now, and we hiked bottom up in the Narrows, and that is my all-time favorite hike. It's just you're sort of hiking literally up the river. You're just wading through water that's chest deep in places. That is my all-time favorite hike. Okay, the next question here is, I guess, a bit more about some of the logistics and planning. What are the top 2 things you wish you knew when you first began your trip? Good question.
Yeah, I think for me, I think it's the video editing aspect of it. I knew the video editing takes time, but I didn't quite realize how much time it would take. But even if I knew that, I don't think we would have been able to do anything different. It's just, it is what it is. And it turns out I really like video editing, so I want to continue doing that. And I am getting faster. But maybe I wouldn't have built up as much backlog and would have tried to edit things faster before going to the next place.
Yeah, it's been a challenge. And same on the blog as well, like it takes a lot of time. Not quite as bad as the videos though. I think for me, the top 2 things would both be around like the level of change involved. So first is I thought we were completely crazy, if I'm honest. Like giving up jobs, moving out of a house and moving into an RV. If I had known just how many really cool people are also doing the same thing, people like us, that I think would have given me a huge kind of confidence boost in going into it. I think it would have alleviated a lot of my reservations or my fears, and it wouldn't have felt quite so much like jumping into the unknown. And so we were aware of some communities. We'd been to the RV Entrepreneur Summit and we'd met some people there, but it was like pockets of people. And what we found in reality is there are big pockets of people. There's a lot of people around like us. And they're super cool, super friendly people. We've really got like a network of friends now. And I wish I'd known that. The second is we both came from very corporate jobs. In corporate jobs, you have a plan and you have to like predict the plan. You have to try and meet the plan and you have to answer questions usually pretty bad questions if you don't meet the plan. That's kind of how a corporate environment works. Everything's deadline driven. Everything's sort of target driven.
Yeah.
And when we moved into this lifestyle, we realized, no, that's not going to work anymore. And it took me a long time to adjust. Probably took me, 6 months?
Yeah.
In particular, I struggled with that, where I was like, but we should be on to park number 17 by now. We need to keep moving. And Diana's like, just relax, just chill. We'll spend some more time here. We'll go and visit that. And I'm like, but if we don't leave, we won't make it to this one, and then this one, and then this one by the time that happens. And I think it took a long time to get over that.
And that's partially the reason why our backlog grew, because we couldn't adjust as fast. We were set on our traveling schedule, and we had to continue and follow through with it.
Yeah, and I think it's just one of those things where this lifestyle affords these opportunities and these unique chances to go and do things that are super cool, but you have to work with that lifestyle. You're not going to get to see Saguaro covered in snow if the day that you finished at Saguaro, you move on to the next place. So you've kind of just got to go with the flow a bit more. And that took me, honestly, an embarrassingly long time to realise. So I think that'd be my top two, and yours, I guess, as well.
Yep.
Cool. Next up, do you miss having a house or a home base to go back to occasionally?
I personally don't. I have not missed a house at all. Like, yes, I miss friends, and family, but not a house. You?
Not really. I think the RV is it feels so much more like a home than I ever thought it would. Like, we come back here after a day's hiking or exploring or whatever, and it just feels like home.
Or even when we have gone a couple times, like we went to attend a wedding and then we came back and it felt like home. We're like back to our home. We're not at a hotel anymore.
Yeah, and like, just we've been able to personalize it enough and make it feel like ours that it feels like a house at times. There are times when I think having a home base would have been nice.
Like right now?
Right now would be a good example. We're very lucky that through our network of friends, we found someone who had some land that we've been able to stay on. But I think I would have felt a lot happier had we had somewhere that we could go back to, and we would have maybe known the area. Maybe we had a house or a building or some storage or something there. But it's not really been a problem until now.
Yeah. And generally, after you spend two winters in Arizona, Arizona starts feeling as home because you go back to the same boondocking spots that you did before.
And then the only other thing I think I found is we're living in a small space. And before we moved into this small space, we were living in quite a large space. We had a 2,000-ish square foot home. And we were just used to spreading out a little bit more. And now that we've downsized into this, I like the downsize. I'll be honest, that process I was really nervous about.
Oh yeah, and I did not think that Matt could do it because he liked his stuff.
I liked my stuff, and I don't miss very much of that stuff at all. Like, I had ATVs and a woodworking shop. I don't really miss any of that. It's just a different lifestyle. It's a different way of living. But I think where I do struggle is I do have some different hobbies that I like to do, and one of the challenges we have in the RV is like, you have to get everything out, do your thing, and then put everything away again.
Yeah.
So it makes it harder to work on a project over a few days. And having a house, I had my little office where I had a desk that was devoted to sort of electronics and things. And I had a separate desk where I worked on my laptop. So it just made it a lot easier to work on those things. But no, for the most part, we really enjoy this. And we love the fact that we have a different view out of the window every day, and we can move our house to a new location.
And I go running fairly regularly, and I really like that I can be on different trails whenever we are. And while running in the city was kind of the same streets, the same places all the time. But now I get to see different areas just by going for a run.
But who knows, in future, maybe we will look at having some kind of home base or something again.
Yeah.
Back to the point earlier, like, we didn't jump into this journey because we wanted to become RVers.
Yeah.
That was kind of the means to the end. But for now, we're really enjoying it, and it's working for us.
Yep.
Okay, related to that, I guess, do you wish you had a bigger or smaller trailer? How often do we have this conversation? We have this like on a weekly basis.
Probably with always the same result, that this is the perfect size for us.
Yeah.
Like, it is the... we don't want any longer because we have been able to fit in really nice spaces because it's shorter. And we don't really need any more space for any more stuff. We have everything that we want.
Yeah, I think with an RV, it's easy to think that bigger is better. And I think we've learned time and time again that's just not true. So yes, would it be nice to have more space so I could keep my projects out on a table? Superficially sounds nice, but then you need to like move, and then you've got to pack everything away again anyway.
Yes.
Plus, you're just moving around more box. You're moving around more stuff. And in 2 years on the road, I don't think we've felt we didn't have enough stuff in here. Quite the opposite at times.
We come back to that we did really good research in finding this particular RV. The floor plan and the size of it and all the features, like it's the perfect RV for us. And 2 years later, it still fits our needs really well.
And I think very specifically, there are places that we've taken the trailer that if it were just even a couple of feet longer, we would not have got into.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if the trailer were a couple of feet shorter, I think we would be trading off capabilities and features of the trailer that we really don't want to. We like the full-size queen bed. We like the fact that we've got a large slide dinette area to work in. We like the larger bathroom.
Yeah,
comparatively large.
And we like that we can bring our ski and snowboard gear with us, which again, we had plans to use that this early spring, but that went out of the window.
Another RV question here. Is living in your trailer full-time more difficult or easier than you thought it would be?
I mean, now a year and a half later, it all seems so easy that it's kind of hard to remember how it felt then. I feel like my life is more in order than it was before. I think because like I can go for a run more regularly. I have learned how to cook. We mostly cook in RV. So I feel like I can make healthy food for myself. We have recently instituted Sort Your Life Out Day once a month, where the whole day is dedicated to dealing with finances, with like any bills, with mail and scanning papers. And that just removes a lot of or kind of background low-level anxiety that, there's some loose ends that haven't been finished. But now with this lifestyle, we've been able to find the time to do that. Whereas when we lived in a house, we worked during the week, but then during the weekends we were traveling a lot. Like every weekend we were doing something. So we didn't really had that time, or you didn't really want to deal with that stuff on the weekend when you could go out and explore. So it never got done.
And I think also it's easier to ignore in a house. There's more space just to hide that pile of papers, or like there's that box that you just don't need to go into. In an RV, I think it forces you to be more organized, more disciplined, and more decisive on these things. I can't just have a giant stack of papers. I need to go through and sort it out. It definitely gets messy in the RV pretty quickly, but it also takes like seconds to clean up because it's such a small space.
And it's always clean after moving.
Yeah, so I think, is it more difficult or easier? It's different. I don't think I really knew what to expect.
Yeah.
But I think we have learned over the last 2 years, the more organized you can be, the more kind of flexible it is and the more freeing it can be. And I think it's a lot easier to achieve that in this small space. We love it though. I think the places where it's forced us to be more organized have been really for the better.
Yeah. It's like I'm saying I have adulted more than I was before.
And that's on everything from like the food we eat to the way that we manage all our finances and logistics and things. I don't think I've ever been this organized, and I don't think we've ever understood everything that's going on in our lives as well as we do now.
Yeah.
So no, we love it. It's been really good fun. Okay, and then the last question we have you had any problems with unruly animals or pests? For example, dogs, skunks, rodents, snakes, bugs, etc.
Not really. We have seen snakes. Matt has seen one. I've seen 3 snakes. But you see 2. So one in Arizona. Yeah. And one around Denver area. We did the hike before.
The one in Arizona, most recently in Quartzsite, we put on the blog. Check that out if you haven't seen it already. It's under the news section in there. That was pretty scary. That was like a 4-foot long rattlesnake.
Yeah, but still, they were nowhere near the RV.
Yeah.
We were out.
We were in a nature reserve. Like it was very entitled to be there. And although I don't like snakes, they're not something I feel comfortable with. It was, as you say, it was a few hundred feet from the RV. in the middle of the road.
Yeah,
It wasn't
clearly visible.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have accidentally stepped on it or anything like that. So yeah, we have seen things, but we never had problems with them.
We've heard about people having problems with ants or with mice or whatever, and I'm sure these things happen. Like we know friends that it's impacted. Maybe we've just been really lucky, but we've had no problems whatsoever. I think it probably helps that we also move more regularly and that we're not staying in places that are super busy. So like maybe in some RV parks or campgrounds and things, there's animals there that are used to there being food around, whereas where we tend to camp in more remote, isolated places, I don't think that would happen as much. I don't think there's going to be food around. And we certainly never leave any food around.
Yes,
we don't
we
dump
don't.
any grey water. We don't put any food scraps outside, not even food from washing up vegetables.
If you're
nothing.
grilling outside, we're very, very careful not to have anything splattered on the ground.
Yeah, and when we finish, we'll clean it all up and we'll put it away. So there's no smells.
Do you think the clearance of the RV helps for things not to get in the RV?
Yeah, I mean, we take basic precautions, so you don't want any like twigs or branches or whatever to be touching the bottom of the RV. And obviously ours sitting pretty high, it's easier to do that.
Yeah.
The one that I have been nervous of has been pack rats in the truck. So particularly in Arizona, you'll see a lot of places people leave the hood open on their truck, overnight especially, just to stop any animals going in. They like the sort of dark enclosed space in there, and they go and eat all your wires. Touch wood, we've never had a problem with that. We've never seen any signs of that. I have left the hood open a few times and played with lights and things to kind of put them off. But no, touch wood, we have never had any problems with pests.
Actually, one thing that I do get nervous about, so I go running, and a lot of times it's on trails, and some places more remote than others. But it's actually I'm less worried about like the snakes or animals that I come across, but actually more worried about dogs. I have been bitten by dogs before in the past, and I'm scared of dogs. And unfortunately, even though the areas say you have to have dogs on leash on those trails, a lot of people don't leash them. And I don't have a problem if those dogs are obedient and they will not run towards me, but they're enough dogs that will bark aggressively and run up to me. And you never, with somebody else's dog, you never know. Like, I'm sure they're very nice dogs, but from a person, when you have a big dog running towards you and barking very aggressively, when you had experience in the past where the dog has bitten you, it feels very scary.
But you've never had an actual problem?
No, never had a problem. It's just like, it stops my heart for a little bit every time.
Yeah.
But it won't stop me to go running, so it's all good.
Well, I think that's the end of the questions.
Yep.
We've got no more here. If you've got a question you want to ask us, throw it in the comments below. We try and reply to every comment that we see, so please do leave us that comment and we'll try and answer any questions you have. Again, a massive thank you to everybody who is following us on our journey. We love sharing, but we love hearing from you guys, your suggestions, your ideas, and just that you're enjoying following us along on the journey. So we did this video to thank the 5,000 subscribers who are already following us on our adventure. But if you are not one of those 5,000 people, then what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and join us on our adventure as we travel around the US to visit all 419 national park units, and we will see you next time.
If you're not one of the 5,000 subscribers, well, what you're waiting for? I think you should subscribe.
That was terrible. That was really terrible.